Welcome to class JS Summit, and if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also click on the notification bell so that when I post new video you'll be updated. So let's get started. As you all know, before I start taking my vertical measurements, I used to come down from the edge of the pattern paper by 2 inches. So I'm marking 2 inches across. This will be our top line. Top line. Top line. This is where we're taking all our vertical measurement for. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mark my vertical measurements. Now, this is the measurement that I'll be using for the tutorials. My vertical measurement, my half length is 17. So from the top line, I'm going to mark 17 inches. So I'm marking 17 inches. This is our half length. That's the waistline. So what I do, I'm going to roll across it like I did for the top line. And our hip line from this will be our waistline. Waistline. This is our waistline. From the hip line from the waistline is 8 inches. So I'm going to mark 8 inches. Place your tape on the waistline, then you mark 8 inches. 8 inches. Let me mark 8 inches here again. So this is our hip line. I'm going to roll across like I did for the other ones. I'm going to mark roll across our pattern paper. The next thing we are going to do now is to find the bust line. My bust point is 10.5 inches. 10.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 10.5 across the paper. Can you see? I'm marking 10.5. I'm placing my tape rule on the top line and I'm measuring 10.5, which is my bust point. I'm also going to roll across. This will be our bust line. Bust line. So to get where our armhole will sit, from the bust line, you move up by 1.5 inches. It's constant. That is where your armhole will sit. So I'm going to roll across. Can you see? This is your bust line. You come up from the bust line by 1.5 inches. That's where the armhole will sit. The next thing you are going to do, we are going to measure the neck width and depth. The neck width for this tutorial is 3 inches. It's constant. That's what I'm using. The next thing I'm going to mark the depth, which is also 3 inches. I extend it a little bit forward. Then I'm using my armhole curve to create the neck curve. for this pattern. Can you see what I did? I'm going to do the same for the back. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to mark our neck width, which is 3 inches. But the back neck depth is going to be 1 inches or 1.5. But for this tutorial, I'm doing 1 inches. You extend this line a little bit the way you did for the front. Then you use your armhole curve or your French curve to get the neck curve for this tutorial. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to apply our shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement for this tutorial is 8 inches. So you mark 8 inches. You also do that for the front body. You mark 8 inches. Then from that 8 inches mark, you come down by 1 inch to get your shoulder slope. You know our shoulder line is not straight, it's slant. You also do the same for the back. You come down 1 inches. Then you connect to the neck point. Use your shoulder line or shoulder slope. The next thing you are going to do now, where the armhole will sit, you are going to mark 8 inches again there. You do the same for the front. You mark 8 inches. And you do what? You connect it to that shoulder point. You do the same for the front bodies. You find the midpoint of the armhole line. This is 8. You mark it. It will give you 4. You mark 4 from the where your armhole will sit upward on the armhole line. The next thing you are going to do, you are going to mark ½ inches on the midpoint. You move in from the midpoint of the front armhole by ½ inches. But for the back armhole, you move in by 1/4 inch. So what we are going to do now, we are going to apply our body's measurement on the measurement line. Now my bust measurement is 39. 39 divided by 4 will give you 9 7/5. So you are going to mark 9 7/8 on the line where your armhole will sit. You see? This is it. You do the same for the back bodies. 9 7/8, 7/5. The next measurement you are going to apply on this body pattern is your waist measurement. Our waist measurement is 34 divided by 4 will give us 8.5. Remember, we are going to add our that allowance, which is 1 inch, making it 9.5 inch. So on the waistline, you are going to mark 9.5. You do the same on the front bodies. 9.5. My hip measurement is 40. 40 divided by 4, it will give you 10. So you mark 10 on the hip line. You do the same for the front bodies. This is 10. So use your ruler to connect those marks that you've made. You connect your lines, your marks together. So back to the armhole. Use your armhole curve to connect your points together. You connect the ½ inches mark to the shoulder points and back to the underarm. That is where your armhole sits. You do the same for the back bodice. Sorry, this thing is moving. Can you see? You've gotten your armhole curve. The next thing we are going to do now is to apply our darts. You use your nipple to nipple point. My nipple to nipple point is 7 inches. 7 divided by 2 will give us 3.5. So for the front bodice, you come out by 3.5 from the center front and mark. You do the same on the bust line and on the hip line as well, 3.5. To create your what? Your dart line. This is your dart line. And on the back bodice, you add 0.5 inches to the 3.5, making it what? 4 inches. So you mark 4. On the hip line, you mark 4. On the bust line as well, you mark what? You mark 4 inches. So on the waistline, remember our dart amount is 1 inch. So you come out from both sides of the dart line by 0.5 inches. You do the same for the front. 0.5 inches. Then on the hip line, you move up by 2 inches. That's where your dart will sit. You move up and mark 2 inches as well. So you connect your dart amount to the dart points. So you do the same for the front bodies as well. Your basic body pattern is ready. You can decide to alter this pattern on the side. If you don't want it to be straight, you can make it curve. Go up 1.5 or 2 inches at the side. You do the same for the front body as well. Then you do what? Let me use my French curve. Okay. So I'm using my French curve to connect the line. Like so. I'm doing the same again for the front bodies. Can you see? Our basic body pattern is ready. You can alter this pattern to make a gown. This is what our back is looking like. And this is what our front is looking like. Can you see? Can you see? This is what our back pattern is also looking like. So if you like this video, give it a thumb up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, so when I upload new video, you'll be updated. Thank you.